you're viewing this video clip. Today we'll look at budgeting, planning, and control, which is Unit 4. First, look at the roles of accounting information. One basic purpose of accounting information is to help you make decisions. Every day, you and your organization face a new and continually changing set of decisions, and many of these decisions rely on accounting information. A second basic purpose of accounting is to help you plan and control your organization's operations. Plans describe how the organization will achieve its objectives. Plans describe how the organization will achieve its objectives. Control is the process of implementing plans and evaluating whether your organization is achieving its objectives. What type of what types of accounting information do managers for decision need for decision making and performance evaluation and control? For decision making, which is described as choosing alternative courses of action to achieve some objective, accounting information helps answer problem solving questions. For performance evaluation and control, accounting helps answer scorecard and attention their questions. Scorecard questions now. Is the company doing very well or poorly? Scorekeeping is the accumulation, classification, and reporting of data that help users and understand and evaluate organizational performance. Hello? Now, scorekeeping information must be accurate and reliable to be useful. For example, Starbucks produces numerous reports to evaluate results for stores and divisions. Next was attention directing questions, which the question is asked, which areas require additional investigation? Attention directing quest involves reporting and interesting information that helps managers to focus on operating problems, imperfections, inefficiencies, and opportunities. And look at problem solving questions now. Have the alternatives being considered? Which is the best? The problem solving aspect of accounting involves analysis of alternative courses of action and identification of the best course to follow. Now look at budgeting, planning, and control now. Another essential element of the management process is planning and controlling the organization's operations. Planning provides answers to two questions. What objectives does the organization want to achieve? When and how will the organization achieve these objectives? Definition for planning now. Planning is setting objectives for an organization and determining how to attain them. Control refers to implementing plans and using feedback to evaluate the attainment of objectives. Thus, feedback is crucial to the cycle of planning and control. Planning determines action, action generates feedback, and the control phase uses the feedback to influence further planning and actions. Timely systematic reports provided by the accounting system are primary source of useful feedback. Then a budget is a quantitative expression of a plan of action and an aid to coordinating and implementing plans. Budgets are the chief devices for disciplining management planning. Alright, say that performance reports spur investigation of exceptions. Items for which, and these exceptions are items for which actual amounts differ significantly from budgeted amounts. Again, performance reports for investigation of exceptions, which are items for which actual amounts differ significantly from budgeted amounts. Managers then revise operations to conform with the plans or revise the plans. This process is called management by exception, which means concentrating more on areas that deviate from the plan and less on areas that what conform with plans. Thus, the management by exception approach frees managers from needless concern with those phases of operations that adhere to plans and are running smoothly. However, well conceived plans incorporate enough discretion or flexibility so that the manager feels free to pursue any unforeseen opportunities. So we'll take a look at the advantages of budgeting. Now, budgeting is the process of formulating an organization's plans. We discuss four major advantages of budgeting, of effective budgeting. First one, budgeting compels managers to think ahead of think ahead by formalizing their responsibilities for planning. Number two, budgeting provides an opportunity for managers to reevaluate existing activities and evaluate possible new activities. Budgeting aids managers in communicating objectives and coordinating actions across the organization. And then budgeting provides benchmarks to evaluate subsequent performance. Now, these are the four benefits of budgeting. We'll look at each of them in detail now. First one, formalization of planning. Budgeting forces managers to devote time to planning. On a day-to-day basis, managers often move from existing one business brush fire to another, leaving no time for thinking beyond the next day's problems. As a result, planning takes a backseat to or is obliterated by daily pressures. The budgeting process of form the budgeting process formalizes the need to anticipate and prepare for changing conditions. To prepare a budget, a manager should set objectives and establish policies to aid their achievement. The objectives are the destination points, and budgets are the roadmaps guiding us to those destinations. In the absence of goals and objectives, results are difficult to interpret. Managers do not foresee problems, and company operations lack direction. Look at another benefit in detail now for about evaluating of activities. Budgeting typically uses the current activities of the organization as a starting point for planning, but how managers use this starting point varies widely. At one extreme, in some organizations, the budget process automatically assumes that activities for the new budget period will be the same as activities for the what previous period. At the other extreme, note this carefully now. At the other extreme, some organizations use a form of what we call a zero-based budget, which is a budget that starts with the assumption that current activities will not automatically be what continued. The term zero base comes from the fundamental assumption that the budget for every activity starts at zero. The advantage of a zero based system is that managers will evaluate all activities, including whether existing activities should be continued. So the average of zero based budget zero based system is that managers reevaluate all activities in each new budget. Alright. In practice, budgeting for most organizations falls somewhere between these two extremes. An effective budget process encourages managers to think carefully about whether to continue current activities and methods, whether there are opportunities to modify activities, and whether to add new activities to help the organization better achieve its goals in response to changing conditions. Using this way, budgeting encourages managers to review whether a particular plan allocates resources optimally among the firm's various activities or not. The other benefit in detail we look at now is communication and coordination. The most the most effective budget process is facilitate communication, both from the top down and from the bottom up. Top management communicates the strategic goals and objectives of the organization in its budgetary directives. Lower level managers and employees contribute their own ideas and provide feedback on goals and objectives. The result is two-way communication about opportunities and challenges that lie ahead. Budget also help managers coordinate activities across the organization. For example, a budget allows purchasing personnel to integrate their plans with production requirements, while production managers use the sales budget and delivery schedule to help them anticipate and plan for the employees and physical facilities they will need. Similarly, financial officers use the sales budget, purchasing requirements, and other planned expenditures to anticipate the company's need for cash. Thus, budgeting forces managers to communicate and coordinate their department's activities with those of other departments and the company as a whole. Then we look at performance evaluation now. Budget performance goals generally provide a better basis for evaluating actual results than with a simple comparison with past performance. Relying only on historical results for judging current performance may allow inefficiencies in past performance to continue undetected. Changes in economic conditions, technology, personnel, competition, and other factors also limit the usefulness of comparisons with the past. For example, sales of 100 million this year for a company that had sales of 80 million the previous year may or may not indicate that company objectives have been met. Perhaps conditions imply that the sales goal for this year should have been 110 million. Now we look at the types of budgets now. We looked at one a while ago, but we look at different types of budgets now, many of them. Businesses usually use several different types of budgets. The most forward-looking and least detailed budget is a strategic plan, which states the overall goals and objectives of the organization. While the strategic plan does not deal with a specific time frame and does not produce forecasted financial statements, it provides the overall framework for the long-range plan. Long-range plans typically produce forecasted financial statements for 5 to 10-year periods. Decisions made during long-range planning include addition or deletion of product lines, design and location of new plants, acquisitions of buildings and equipment, and other long-term commitments. Companies coordinate their long-range plan with their capital budget. Capital budget now details the planned expenditures for facilities, equipment, new products, and other long-term investments. Short-term plans and budgets guide day-to-day operations. Now we look at the master budget now. The master budget now is a detailed and comprehensive analysis of the first year of the long-range plan. It quantifies targets for sales, purchases, production, distribution, and financing in the form of forecasted financial statements and supporting operating schedules. You will see these being done as we go through this topic. These schedules provide detailed information beyond what appears in the forecasted financial statements. Thus, the master budget includes forecasts of sales, expenses, balance sheets, and cash sheets, and and the cash receipts and disbursements. To clarify a little bit further, you can pause the video and write this down. That a master budget now is an extensive analysis of the first year of the long range plan, which lasts for 5 to 10 years, right? It summarizes the planned activities of all subunits of an organization. You can pause the video and write that down. Many companies break their annual budgets into 4 quarterly or even 12 monthly budgets. A continuous budget, otherwise called a rolling budget, is a master budget that simply adds a month or quarter in the future as the month or quarter just ended is dropped. Continuous budgets force managers to always think about the next full year, not just the remainder of the current fiscal year. So budgeting becomes an ongoing process instead of a once a year exercise. Let's look at it a little bit further. So rolling budget now is a common form of master budget that adds a month in the future as the month just ended is dropped off. Alright. Alright. The budget process we have described or you have looked at before thus far in this clip is what I call can be described as functional budgets because the focus is on preparing budgets by function, such as production, selling, and administration. So therefore, budgets it must be said must be highlighted to you that budgets for season purchases, production, material usage and purchases, and labor, all those four are what they call functional budgets. Alright? So good. Organizations that have implemented activity based cost accounting systems often use these systems as a vehicle to prepare an activity based budget. Right? An activity based budget now is a budget that uses is a budget that focuses on the budgeted cost of activities required to produce and sell products and services. So go again. Activities budget now is a budget that focuses on the what? Focuses on the budgeted costs of activities required to produce and sell products and services. Alright. A while ago you heard the term about functional budgeting. Now functional budgeting now is a process that focuses on preparing the budgets for various functions such as production, selling and administrative support. Activities of activities activity based budget now is a budget that focuses on the budgeted cost of activities required to produce and sell products and services. Alright. So those are activity based budget and functional budgets. Now look at the potential problems of in implementing budgets. In this section, we discuss 3 problems that can limit, in some cases, severely the advantages of budgeting. So technically, these are the what? Disadvantages or constraints in setting budgets. One, low levels of participation in the budget process and lack of acceptance of responsibility for the final budget. Two, incentives to lie and cheat in the budget process. And three, difficulties to obtaining accurate sales forecasts. First part is the budget participation and aspects of budget. The advantages of budgeting are fully realized only when employees throughout the organization accept and take responsibility for the final budget. The main factors affecting budget acceptance are as follows: the perceived attitude of top management, the level of participation in the budget process, and three, the degree of alignment between the budget and other performance goals. Number four, changes in product mix, Changing the mix of products often can affect not only sales levels but also overall contribution. Identifying the most profitable products and devising methods to increase their sales is a key part of successful management or budgeting. Now we look at the components of master budget now. The two major parts of a master budget are the operating budget and the financial budget. The operating budget, sometimes called the profit plan, focuses on the income statement and supporting schedules, or in an organization with no sales revenues and budgeted expenses and supporting schedules. In contrast, the financial budget focuses on the effects that operating budget and other plans, such as capital expenditures and repayments of debt, will have on cash balances. The distinction between operating budget and the financial budget is important because of the distinction between profitability and financial position. There are many examples of firms with strong profits where a weak cash position placed them in bankruptcy. There are also many examples of firms whose strong financial position allowed them to survive periods of temporary unprofitability. Thank you for watching this video clip. Look forward to the remainder that are coming.